July is here and it came with plenty of regional highlights from this past weekend that I'm sure you're all gonna love. We have everything from comeback KOs that I'm still confused how the winner survived, to multiple head kick KOs, my personal favorites, and a 9-second KO that you better not blink for. But first, let's get to the fan comment of the week from Kyle Fenton that said Lawton Vierkant ruins these videos. Nah, just kidding, that's not our fan comment of the week, and I'm sorry you feel that way. But the actual fan comment goes to Hauser Smoot, who said, 27 seconds of chaos, who show Caposa my Tinder bio? Which was in reference to this fight from last week that all this happened in 27 seconds, but the Tinder comment was just too funny for me to not award this week, so congrats on the creativity, Hauser. What is going on, everyone? It's the casual, Lawton Vierkant, and this is Caposa's Corner. Kicking us off this week, we're heading to Open Fighting Championship 20 in Kyrgyzstan for one fight, and let's start this week off strong because it is time for Caposa's hand-picked submission of the week. Here we have a lightweight bout between Kiyalbek Keldibay-Ulu with a 5-4 record, and he's taking on Muhammad Abdullo, who has just an 0-2 record. So for this fight, we're starting in the second round, and as you can see, it only takes about 10 seconds for these two to take it to the ground, and then, well, something sneaky is about to happen. Yep, Vaughn flew choke out of nowhere, and it was so tight that it leaves his opponent asleep and on the canvas. Now, like I said, we were in the second round, but this whole round only lasts 45 seconds, and you can see Ulu slip his left hand under the neck, and then a nice little slap on the hand from the ref for a fence grab, and then it was just all downhill after that for him. While Ulu's record isn't the best, now sitting at a 6-4, he is in fact on a 4-fight win streak, 3 of which were all by submission, so hopefully this gives him some more momentum and he can keep securing some great submissions like this one. Now we're heading to UAE Warriors 30 in Abu Dhabi, where they were busy this week because they had back-to-back events on Saturday and Sunday, so we're going to take a look at both nights. Starting off, we have 2 fights from the first night, and the first fight is a catchweight bout at 176 pounds that has Wissam Hamami sitting at a very nice 7-0 record, and his opponent, Brian Hui, has a 16-8 record. So we've got another second round finish, and while we're nearing the first minute mark, who's ready for a walk-off head kick KO?
And who with the great attitude, like, don't tell me.
Oh!
Beautiful head kick knockout!
Beautiful knockout indeed. Hui throws the high kick and his opponent unfortunately level changes at the same time, and the kick makes direct contact, sending him down and out to the canvas. And the walk-off is just the icing on the cake. It doesn't get much cleaner than this, and we all know I love a good head kick, so congrats to Hui on the highlight finish and for improving his record to 17-8. For our second fight on the first night at UAE Warriors, it is time for Caposa's prospect of the week. Here we have a bantamweight title fight that has current and defending champion Vinicius de Oliveira sitting at a very nice 17-2 record, but surprisingly he's not our prospect of the week. That title belongs to this guy, Ali Taleb, the challenger, sitting at also a nice 6-0 record. Now this one was an all-out war for the first 2 rounds. In the first, we see this exchange that sees Oliveira get knocked down, but he does survive, and we fast forward to the second round where he gets a little payback on Taleb with this huge right, but he survives the ground and pound, and at the end of the second round almost gets this triangle, but alas, the round ends. Yeah, so this one just keeps getting crazier. So finally, in the third round, just at the halfway point, well, this happens.
We said that before, Cyrus, like, guys.
What an up and down roller coaster that entire fight was. But holy hell, Taleb comes out on top with this huge overhand right, followed by the ground and pound, and this one is over. So let's get into it. He is now at a 7-0 professional record, and fun fact, he didn't turn pro until August of 2019. So yeah, we're talking not even 3 years, and he's racked up 7 wins. Oh, and only one of those went to a decision. The rest were all TKOs or submissions. wins. And let's be honest, Oliveira is easily a prospect as well that will probably be on a larger stage soon with his 17-3 record, but the fight that Taleb showed in this one and the determination is going to make him a hot prospect for any bigger organization. Oh yeah, and he also mentioned in his post-fight speech that his contract with UAE ended with this fight. So yeah, I think it's safe to say some of these bigger organizations are probably going to be talking to him very soon given this performance, and with him being up for grabs. But until then, congrats to Taleb on this fantastic title fight win. We hope to see you on a larger stage soon, and everyone welcome your new UAE Warriors Bantamweight Champion. Now we're going to move on to the second night of UAE Warriors, their Arabia 8 event, where we have 3 fights to show you. I told you they were busy. First, we have a featherweight bout between Jalal Al-Dajjah with an 8-5 record, and he's taking on Adam Meskini, who has a 5-1 record. So this one has a lot too, like the last one, but it's a little more one-sided. In the first round, Meskini gets knocked down not just once or even twice, but 3 different times, all within 2 minutes. And he somehow does not give up or get stopped by the ref. But as we've seen before, we make it to the second round, and just a minute and a half into that one, do you think it's the end of Meskini's luck, or is it just the beginning?
I mean, you can't ask the ref.
Wow, yet another roller coaster of ups and downs, but Meskini shows a true fighter spirit and lands this sharp little right hook that just sends him down, and one lone ground and pound is all the ref needs to see before stepping in and calling this one. I wasn't able to find an update, but the commentators were saying that they think Meskini broke his foot in the first round, cause the medical team was looking at him right after the fight, and if that is true, he survived 3 huge knockdowns, a broken foot, and still got this second round finish? Well, props to you, sir, and congrats on this fantastic performance that improves his record to 6-1. For our second fight, we have another featherweight matchup that has Hussein Salem sitting at an 8-4 record, and he's up against Nizar Ben Amara with a nice 5-1 record. Back to our normal schedule of first round finishes, this one goes to the ground just at a minute in, and Salem locks up this triangle, and while getting lifted, decides to land some big elbows just before getting slammed to the canvas. But will the triangle be enough?
Trying to stay calm.
Wow, guys, this triangle is... Oh, yes!
Yep, sure was. As you can tell by the lifeless opponent and Salem's celebration, that whole sequence was just insane, between the original securing of the triangle to the nasty elbows, then the slam that I'm still not sure how he survived, and then just holding the triangle through it all to finally get the ref stoppage. What a great submission from Salem to secure this win though, and to improve his record to 9-4. And for our final fight at UAE Warriors, it is of course time for Caposa's KO of the week. Here we have the main event bantamweight fight that has Xavier Alawi with a 12-4 record, and he's taking on Fabricio Saraf with a 29-10 record. That is a lot of fights. So with just a minute and a half left in the second round, Saraf absolutely cracks Alawi and sends him on the retreat, but he may want to be careful rushing back in so quickly.
On wobbly legs.
Talk about yet another turn of events at these UAE Warrior shows. Dear Lord. Alawi was still trying to gain his consciousness back, but somehow still pulled off this devastating right that he slipped through the uppercut that was coming from Saraf, and it just sends him down and out to the canvas. I don't know what was in the air over there in Abu Dhabi this weekend, but it produced some great fights and some even better highlights. But congrats to Alawi on this impressive win and for improving his record to 13-4. Off to visit Lions Fights Arena 6 in Brazil, where we have a flyweight matchup between Ronaldo Mejia with just a 3-1 record, and his opponent Eglerson Cordeiro has a 5-4-1 record. This is yet another second round finish, but yeah, it only lasts 6 seconds.
MMA. Ai, mais uma vez, leva chute duríssimo.
Oh yeah, another head kick KO followed by one ground and pound, and this fight is over barely after it started in this second round. We are cursed with just this one angle sadly, but look at the connection on the head kick. And it just sends his opponent down, and this fight is over. Great quick second round finish though from Mejia as he secures this win and improves his record to 4-1. Now we're gonna go visit our friends at Combate Global, where we have the main event featherweight fight that sees Ramiro Jimenez with a nice 5-0 record, and he's taking on Devontae Sewell, who has an 9-7 record. It seems lately we've been having some rough refs that don't seem to stop the fight when they should, and sadly this is yet another one of them. Yeah, so it's actually the sneaky knee followed by 2 ground hooks that really seem to put him out, but then the almost 15 seconds of defenseless strikes after the fact is definitely what the ref should not have allowed to happen in this one. Yikes, I mean, if a fighter is literally teeing his opponent's head up to repeatedly hit it and he's not defending that, I think that's a pretty good sign that this fight is over. But I don't want to take away from Jimenez's performance because this was a first round TKO and puts him now at a 6-0 record, so this guy is definitely getting into the prospect range. Up next, we're gonna head to Cage Titans 54 in Massachusetts, where we have an amateur welterweight bout that has Brody McDougal with just a 1-0, and he's up against Ben Bratko, who is just making his amateur debut. We've got another second round finish, and this one is just nearing the 30-second mark, so who do you think is gonna get their first amateur loss?
Bratko might be finding his groove.
Oh! Yeah, beautiful stoppage. Great stoppage.
Yep, body kick directly into a right hook that sends him down, and thankfully the ref has seen enough, so he steps in and calls this fight. That's a pretty good sequence with some power coming from a guy that's only in his second MMA fight ever. So although he's just in the beginning, congrats to McDougal on this win that keeps his record clean at 2-0. And for our last fight this week, we're heading to Ohio Combat League 20 in Ohio, where we have another amateur fight in the light heavyweight division, and we're cursed with minimal footage, so just take a look real quick.
Nice leg kick.
He clipped him. Oh my gosh!
Talk about an onslaught of hooks, dear Lord. So that's Trevon Eller landing those hooks, who now has a 2-0 amateur record, and our poor fighter that ate those hooks, well, that's Tyler Gates, who was just making his MMA debut. I wish we had more angles to show for this one because there's just some force behind these hooks, but it's another great highlight for someone that's only in their second MMA fight. So congrats to Eller on this win and for landing a nice highlight reel along with it. It's a new month, so you know what that means. We're resetting the board and starting fresh, so make sure you stay tuned over the next 4 weeks to keep track of all of our featured KOs, subs, and prospects. And for last month, the winners from what I tallied in the comments was this beautiful KO from Erde Kapar at Ju Chang King just last week, and I think we all knew this one was probably going to be a fan favorite because it is just pure beauty. And then we had this Gogo Plata submission from Havicha Koridze back at Georgian Fighting Championship 16 from a few weeks ago. And our Prospect of the Month award goes to the one and only Abdul the Lazy King Abduragimov, who claimed this win via doctor stoppage last week at Erez FC 7. And yeah, I mean, his resume is promising enough that I can almost guarantee this is not the last time you'll be hearing that name. Thank you as always to Caposa for helping us compile these lists week in and week out, so please go give him a follow on his Twitter at Grabaka_Hitman, and you can also support him by checking out his Patreon at patreon.com/Caposa, and don't forget to check out his website GrabakaHitman.com so you can get the weekly live schedules and ways to watch these crazy regional events every single week. We also want to say a huge thank you to all of these amazing organizations for hosting these events every single week for our viewing pleasure, and to the fighters, winners, and losers, and we will see you all on the next video. Peace!